Welcome everyone to the SERL Domino's Pizza Truck Series, Season 2, Race 6 at Nascor. That's it, Nascor, not NASCAR, but Nascor in Nascor, Washington. I don't know if this is a real place or not. If it is or is not, something will be posted down below. But anyway, this is a brand new circuit to the SERL in general. And layout wise, this track is pretty identical to the 1.5 mile quad ovals of Atlanta, Charlotte, and Texas. But there are some slight differences. One, this track is um, more wider, so there's just simply a lot more room to move around. But I think it's actually a little like less bank, maybe even a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure because I don't have the banking stats in front of me. I may also post that on the bottom of the screen as well, uh, if there is any information I can find. And I feel like just like pretty much like most races in the SERL in general, I think we'll see a little bit more of that pack racing here. It's a 1 mile racetrack, so uh, the laps around here should happen fairly quickly, just like at Memphis, which that race, but by the way, I wasn't expecting that race to be as clean as it was. Only one DNF, and it was one caution late in the going. And Matt Hotchkiss in the 23 went on to win the race. Matt Hotchkiss was a driver where in last season it looked like that he was going to be a championship contender, but then fell off very late in the season and never really was able to recover. Now he comes into this race fifth in points, so I think he hopes to ride the momentum. But at this track, through what we've seen in the test races, that's just going to be hard to do. But also, when I look at the top 10 points, we have a familiar driver up high up in points, and that is Luke Walker in number 10. He's now the points there, but he only has it by 3 points over the 17 of Justin Talapas, who has really just been. I mean, he's another driver that has been riding a wave of momentum, winning at Seattle and then another good finish at Memphis. But anyway, other drivers at the top of the points are Andrew Gorman, third in points, who had it last week at Memphis, but didn't get his his best finish. Dean Orton, fourth in points. Matt Hotchkiss, I said, fifth in points. Sixth in points is not Ben Goldberg, Philip Goldberg. Seventh in points is Connor Britton, the Line Rock winner. Eighth in points is Garrett Sinor. Ninth in points is Club Crafton. 10th in points is Daniel Boyles. It seems like compared to like the other two series, this is the series that favors the winners the most, or the series where the winners are really able to keep their momentum going. And we'll just have to see. I think the the opportunity for a new winner, I think, is really high, or there are a lot of high expectations for a new winner. But we'll just have to find out. Anyway, now let's get the trucks rolling off. Here is the starting line here, so I don't really have very much time to talk about where everyone starts because the start of the race is going to literally happen in about maybe like 15-20 seconds. So here is where everyone will start. And as you might have been wondering, why is Ken O'Donnell starting on the outside along with every other driver that's starting on the odd number? It's just the way the track was designed. So if you start in the if you start with an odd number, you actually start on the high side, and if you're an even number, you're starting on the inside. Depending on how this race goes, I might bring it back, or I may never bring it back for season 3 and seasons beyond that. Anyway, Kendall DeMel and Connor Britton leads the green flag. Kendall DeMel gets a great start, but Connor Britton and Eric Almerhart and many others are going to have the preferred line. Anyway, as we go down into turns 1-2, expect like the groove to get really narrow here, which could lead to some disasters. It looks like so far we're very clean. And no, we're not. I saw Hayden Jefferson and Charles Belding. Hayden Jefferson, Jacob Reed also involved, and possibly more. I saw Charles Belding also around, but it looks like he has the car back rolling here. Now we gotta take a look here because we could see them crash. They crashed a couple times in the test races. Okay, it looks like everyone will get through just fine, but it looks like it was just a couple cars spinning, maybe a couple drivers with some minor damage, but let's take a look and see what happened with Hayden Jefferson. This is what I was talking about. Exiting turn number 2, the groove really narrows, but it wasn't just that, it was also the combination of two drivers hooking together, and those two drivers would be Charles Bellamy and Blaine Keys. Well, let's just take a look right here. So, the groove here really narrows up, but also at the same time, Blaine Keys gets into Charles Bellamy, which then gets into Hayden Jefferson right here. Just right in front of the field. Right here. But for the most part, everyone does a pretty nice job to avoid this right here. Just simply a simple spin here. Oh, no, wait, never mind. That's where Jacob Reed got his damage. When Hayden Jefferson came back up into Club Crafton, and Matt Hodges also got some damage. But for the most part, everyone got through it just fine, and I may use an onboard camera or show you an alternative angle, but other than that, we'll be back to the green flag very shortly. I don't believe this camera has really ever been used in the SERL period to show a replay, but let's just use this rear chase camera as we go on board Hayden Jefferson. DNFs after the crash, so everyone is still on the racetrack, but as you might have seen, there were a couple drivers that decided to come to pit road, most notably Hayden Jefferson, Charles Bellamy, and Jacob Reed. But for the most part, everyone else is in the same position they were when they took the caution. Anyway, now, we have a new leader here, is Eric Almaher. He has led every single lap so far, and hopes to lead more. Let's now take you back to the green flag. Other things about this track that I think should be mentioned here is that this track is very, very hilly, more so outside the racetrack. Like, if I bring up like the spectator cam, look, you'll see what I'm talking about. Look at how hilly this racetrack is. But also, coming on the backstretch here, the inside wall. There's actually not a wall there. It's actually like the first half of the backstretch is hilly. Like if you hit the wall, you'll actually go airborne. But the second half is just as flat as the asphalt. Anyway, now LJ Mills has now taken the lead. But here comes Luke Walker, the points leader, who got the points lead after he got the points lead back after Memphis. Conbury in the 07. Really ever since. Oh my gosh, we have a crash behind them. Oh my god! Philip Goldberger here. What the heck? He actually got stuck. As Hayden Jefferson now makes a pit stop. Oh my goodness. That was just insane. That was really weird. It was Philip Goldberg and someone else. It was another like black truck, I believe. It might have been Kyle Kaminsky. Or maybe Jimmy Johns. And we have another crasher here. Oh my god, Kenny in the middle of the pole center here. And Blaine Keys. Go airborne. That's what I was talking about. Wrecks after they take the yellow. But for both of those drivers, it looks like their days are done. So, 2 wild rides in almost the exact same spot. Let's take a look at both of them. Previewing this replay, it just hurts me because this was a really, just like, horrible crash for Philip Goldberg. But anyway, Jimmy Johns are here. This was, I think, really unnecessary between Jimmy Johnson here, because the thing is, I think if he just pulled over here, he would have just pulled right back in line with Phil Goldberg here, and especially since it's only race here. Look at that. So that's already a wild ride. Look at here. He gets stuck in the ditch, and like it's almost like he just like jerked, and the movement of the car when he hit that like ditch, it just, oh my goodness. Let's show you this in real time. See what I'm talking about? I hope Phil Goldberg's okay. But anyway, now let's take a look and see what happened the following lap. Unlike the wild wreck before this one, this wasn't really Blaine Keys' fault right here, because look at this. So Kenneth Jamel here, he decides to come down the racing here and try to go inside the age of Kelly. Not really sure why. Anyway here, which then caused Blaine Keys and Kenneth Jamel here to hook together. And both of them are here. They both take wild rides here. More so, Ken Jamel, the points leader. And wow, just look at it. And like the last one, let's show that one in real time once again. So that way you can sort of like maybe just like feel more of like the impact. Thankfully, he landed back on his wheels, unlike Blaine Keys, but still, just wild wrecker here. Let's show you some onboard cameras. Just before this crash happened, it looked like Philip Goldberg could really, like, he could have maybe become the points leader, because the thing is, he was only 7 points out from being the points leader. Just 7 points. And as you can see, he was running right up front. But now it's just going to be a nightmare after this race. Kendall Domel hasn't really had that much of a season. He comes into this race 22nd in points, so not like high or like super low. But I felt like that with him being the pole center, he could had really had improved. But now a mistake under caution leads to this wild wreck and his plummet in the point standings. Philip Goldberg and Kendall Domel are now out of the race. Hayden Jefferson is one lap down, and somehow, I don't know how he did it, but Blaine Keys is on the lead lap. I think he will obviously be a slower car here, but, well, I don't know how that happened. But it's quite unbelievable when you think about it. But anyway, Luke Walker in the 10 leads us back to the green flag. I think we will get in some like green flag runs here. I just feel like that like so far early on, this is where we're just gonna see like all the wrecks happen. But I think we should get like a green flag run later in the race. We'll just have to see. But anyway, you're here. It looks like Andrew's here. If he does not get himself out of the way, he is gonna be someone again. Like here we go. We are 4 by here. Andrew going right here in the grass. Oh my goodness, here he got clipped. But they save it. Oh no. Oh no. Let's come around this here. This is not look good. Oh my god. Color Crafton. Connor Breen. Whoa. Okay. Some of the drivers are just like inches away from like huge trouble. But anyway, up front. It is now a battle here between Luke Walker and LJ Mills. Luke Walker has had a really good season, and LJ Mills very much the opposite. I think he's possibly last in points. I'm not exactly sure, but he's around that area. And just simply a good finish, or in fact, even better, a win, can really just turn this around. Sorry. But anyway, Luke Walker looks to get the lead back, and he will get the lead back here. And it looks like now we're in that green flag run that I was talking about. As we now get to the rear of the field. Could we go green the rest of the way? I think it's a very slim chance. And right behind him, oh my god, Jimmy John's Lion Mills Jr. Okay, they're lining each other off. Ben Braley in the 40. He's had a good couple weeks where he's been able to be up front. Maybe not like the whole race, but parts of the race. He comes into this race 14 points, and he could be. At this point, it looks like that he could be maybe a surprise later in the season. But anyway, this still looks like Luke Walker's race to lose that. Right behind him, Cameron Rollins in the 1. The racing we have here is like a super speedway racing. And last time we were at Super Speedway, Seattle, Cameron Rollins, it looked like that he was going to get a good finish until involved in a hilarious pileup. Sorry. I apologize for my coughing. I don't know why I am. Club Crafton now all of a sudden has moved inside the top 5. Lion Mills Jr. here looking to take another Luke Walker. LJ Mills looks to get back into the front after dropping several positions. Hayden Keys in the 33, a driver that we really have not discussed about. He's 12th in points entering this race, and it looks like that he might get. It looks like he could get points there. But now all of a sudden, lead changer here. Lion Mills Jr. goes to the point. Right behind him, Abe Troxel in 28. I think we're seeing like a good mixture of like single file racing and pack racing here. But now here comes the 28 of Abe Troxel now. He now goes to the front. Oh crap, why am I doing so bad at this? Anyway, LJ Mills here. He's driving over here. Ben Braley in the 40. And now also here we go. 3 wide for the lead. Luke Walker is now all of a sudden back up in the mix. Just look at this track really shows how much you can gain or lose in just one lap. Now it looks like Luke Walker is just pulling away. But can Cameron Garlington get back up to the front? Let's show you the spectator cam once again right here. So as you can see, it's really hilly down turns 1 and 2 and throughout the backstretch. And also this camera gives us the best chance to show how this track is shaped similar to like the quad ovals of Charlotte, Atlanta, and Texas. As they go on the backstretch right here now into turn 3 and 4, and you can also get to see how wide track really is. You could also say that this track is also just a little bit like less tech than some of the other tracks we go to, but it's still, I think, a great track. But anyway, right here, all of a sudden it looks like that now we have some new contenders that are coming into the mix. Dale Scott, I'm noticing here. Dale Scott in the 31, I don't think, no, actually, he's 23rd in points entering this race and hopes to get a much better run. Who's the driver on pit road? There was a white car that I noticed on pit road. I wish I knew who it was. Maybe the car went to the garage. But anyway, battle for the lead. This has turned into a 2-man race between Luke Walker and Club Crafton. Luke Walker won the season over at Daytona. Club Crafton comes into this race 9th in points. Has not won a race yet. And here comes Club Crafton now. The thing is, can Club Crafton hold his lead? Yep, the caution's out. What's it for? Oh my goodness! Andrew Gorman and Leia Walker here. These are 2 drivers that are actually up front, and as you can see, they're collecting more drivers here. Oh my god! No! Club Crafton here. Oh my goodness here! Oh my goodness! Major problems right here. Because Leia Walker could not get out of the way right here. Oh no! This might create some future problems right here. Some drivers are here, like Luke Walker in the 10, and a couple others got some heavy injury here. And the more these drivers keep bumping up into each other, the more engine failures we might have. Oh my goodness, this could be a game changer. I think the race might end under caution. But could that contact or run into the slower cars affect like Club Crafton, Luke Walker, and a couple others? We'll just have to find out. Let's take a look and see what happened. This crash actually started much more farther up front than what I expected to, which would explain why drivers like Andrew Gorman were involved. Right here, Johnny Wolfer here, he goes from the high side to the low side right here, or to the middle right here, which caused him right here to get clipped into Dale Scott, and then also Connor Breener here just has nowhere to go. LJ Mills, I think, also contributed to this crash as well. Let's actually get a better angle of that. The helicopter right here, so I'll just show that again. Was contact made here? Yeah, contact was made here from LJ Mills and Connor Breener. Andrew Gorman just had nowhere to go, and Payne Keys also went for a spin. But then right here, this crash right here gets even worse right here when Johnny Griffith and Connor Breener here are in the way, and Bro Ketchuk here. Then Bobby Una, Leia Walker, Daniel Boyles, Matt Hotchkiss, Kyle Kaminsky, and they just continue to pile in right here. Riley Smith, Charles Belling, Jim Kelly, Jacob Reed, Kendall Maynor also got some danger here, and then we're just gonna speed things up. Watch this right here. So as you can see right here, as they're slowing down right here, they didn't slow it down just in time. And watch this. So it's kind of hard to tell how that like exactly started, like who was going like a little too fast right here. But as you can see right here, from that moment, and also the thing is they're rubbing up against each other, and some drivers are still like flooring it into another driver's back end. So we'll just have to see how that all goes. It'll be really interesting. But anyway, now let's go on board a driver. Out of everyone involved in this crash, Payne Keys was one of the least damaged cars. Almost made it, but just simply went for a simple spin. For the most most part, that whole not slowing down time didn't really seem to affect very, very much or almost at all of like uh, the drivers that were up front inside the top 10 or 15. But anyway, I believe that I don't know where the list of DNFs start, so I want to know about that, because the thing is, we are about ready to go back racing the green flag right here. Pace car pulls down the road. Can Cliff hold on for just one more lap? That's it. It's just a one lap dash. Here we go. White flag is in the air, and the restart begins. The final restart of the day. Cliff he gets a pretty solid restart here, but here comes Jimmy Johns in the 50, going to the inside of Luke Walker. He can't make the pass in this corner, but here comes Luke Walker in the 10. Can Luke Walker get a second career win? He goes to the inside. Here, coming down the backstretch, who's going to have the advantage? The inside should give Luke Walker the advantage right here. Anyway, coming out, turn number 4, Luke Walker here. The most dominant driver of the day. It looked like that he might be out of the race, but he doesn't. He wins the SERL Season 2 race 6 at Nascor, as Charles Belling goes for a spin on the front stretch, an area that we really have not seen a crash almost all day long. Let's take a look at that. Pretty much most of these drivers that were involved were outside the top 15 right here. So Blank Keys, who, remember, was upside down and yet somehow did not DNF, was just simply a slower car here. And the thing is, they were also trying to form 4Y at the same time right here, which Charles Belling and Blank Keys get together here, which then they all go down into Jim Kelly in the 8. And both Jim Kelly and Charles Belling take a pretty heavy lick here. Biff Crafton also gets some damage as well. And I believe Leia Walker and Riley actually did a nice job to avoid it. But for the most part, what a pretty wild day. It was kind of both wild and interesting at Nascor. But now, let's take a look at our finishing results. Here is the finishing order. So our top 10 are Luke Walker, Club Crafton, Mason Jefferson, Ian Saunders, LJ Mills, Lyon Mills Jr., Ben Braley, Dean Orton, Eric Almarhart, Payne Keys. That is the top 10. And some interesting things about this top 10 is that I believe Club Crafton gets his best finish of the season, and possibly Mason Jefferson, Ian Saunders, and definitely LJ Mills. Payne Keys, who, if you remember, spun not too long ago, gets a top 10. Great for him. And there were some drivers that before they took the checkered, a driver like Jimmy Johns was actually inside the top 3, and almost made the pass on Luke Walker. But for the most part, it was a pretty up and down day, and just overall, just several comers and goers. I don't know if the race we had today is going to fully convince me that I'll bring this truck back for future seasons, if I ever do have any future seasons, but we'll just have to see. And here's everyone who DNF'd. There were some pretty big disappointments, and just sad to see where they finished, like Philip Goldberg and Kendall Jamel. Kendall Jamel, the pole center, and Philip Goldberg was running inside the top 10. Both had wild wrecks. Justin Wallace, his hot streak, I believe, comes to an end as well. He came into this race second in points. Andrew Gorman came into this race third in points, so both of those drivers are going to take some heavy hits. And there were other drivers like Cameron Gallanton, who was running up front throughout most of the day. Garrett Sinar really could not. He was just simply in the wrong place at the wrong time from the start, I would say. But anyway, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. So, for the American Ethanol Series, I believe we are going to Hillside, which, if you remember, at Hillside, it was a pretty close. It was a season ago at Hillside for that series. It was a wild race and had the closest finish of that season and ever in the SERL. Could we see the same thing today? We'll just have to find out. So I hope you tune in for that race and the Hot Wheels Cup Series race at the 2000 mod of Sonoma, or back then it was called Sears Point. Anyway, thank you for watching this race. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and bye.